Hi everyone. Yup. Sorry, this is what is going on with my phone. Hi everyone. Welcome. My phone is buzzing with notifications. Some people don't sleep. Please, guys, we are just nine viewers right now. So please smash that like button. I want to be seeing the like floating endlessly. Welcome to the live stream. Destroy the like. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone, regardless of where you are watching us from. This is the Nigerian perspective live. Frank reacting live. Nigerian react live. And yeah, we're going to be having interesting conversations. Please, guys, destroy the like button. Sorry that I started a little bit late. Hey, brother. Hey, John. Hey, John. What's up? What's up, Camille Thomas? What's up, everybody? What's up, Daniel Martinez? What's up, Amicha Kohlberg? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What's up, everyone? Says I'm rubbing my hand like the Jewish meme. You know that meme where Jews are like this. So I'm just, trying to get in the mood. Yes, LF saying, Frank, hey, got to see you live. Did you get my Discord message? Which one? I think I responded to a couple of Discord messages. I don't know if there's anyone I'm here to respond to, but after the live stream, I'll check it out. All right, guys, welcome everyone. Please, once again, destroy the like button, smash that like button. If you are yet to subscribe. We have interesting things to talk about. Maybe not that interesting, kind of annoying news stories, the kind that just gets you really, really upset. We're going to talk about that. How are you guys doing? How was your day? For me, my day was interesting. I woke up this morning feeling good, feeling blessed, feeling happy, feeling grateful to be alive, And after doing, the usual things people do in the morning and every other thing that I needed to do before, trying to prepare for the show, because I usually start early in the day around like 9 o'clock, sometimes earlier than that, to prepare for a show, see if I can make, a few shots. Or get too distracted by things I see online to be able to make even one shot or two. But anyways, it was a great day. It was sunny until it was raining. How much did it rain today? I don't think it rained that much today, but it was a great day. It was a wonderful day. How was yours? I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I hope you did all the things you needed to do. I hope it went well for you. And I hope you had a moment to tell God, thank you for giving me a brand new day. Thank you for making it possible for me to see today. And I'm grateful to everyone who is in the chat right now. K. James, hi to you too. I hope you had a wonderful day. And hi, everyone. Okay, this is going to be an interesting live stream. Like the title would suggest, we are talking about legacy destroyers, so people who attempt to destroy a good man's legacy. When I when I was preparing for this live stream, I really, really got upset by so many things that I saw on Twitter. I had other things I wanted to discuss. This was not the topic that was topmost on my mind. I had other things I wanted to talk about. I mean, I wanted to talk about Destiny's recent appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored. I wanted to talk about that because Destiny is an interesting topic to discuss. I wanted to talk about so many things. I wanted to talk about Bob Villain. I wanted to talk about George Abaronye, the incoming president of the Oxford Union, and the news around him. I wanted to discuss more on that. Someone asked if I saw Dave Rubens. Yeah, I saw that. It was interesting. It was really interesting. And in fact, I feel Dave Rubin is Jenk's kryptonite. He's Jenk's kryptonite. Anytime he's on, this person can just not. He just can't stand it. He just doesn't have what it takes to stand it. Yes, he's a Nigerian, the Judge Abaronye. I know people have been pronouncing his surname wrongly, but it's Judge Abaronye. Yeah, he's a Nigerian, unfortunately. He is. I wanted to talk about that, but but Candace Owens is just a big someone you cannot avoid. It's just not unavoidable. So I have to talk about her today. Again, I want to encourage everyone to hit that like button. Hit that like button, smash and destroy it. Let people know. If you can share this live stream to people, share it to them, let them know that we are live. Share it, smash the like button, destroy it. Let everybody know that, we are live and we are ready to go. This is when you hit that like button, the algorithm will be like, oh, people are interested in this. So just keep smashing and destroying it. Okay. The goal for this live stream, maybe I should be setting goals. Let me set one now. The goal for this live stream is to have can you imagine? If people don't have the only goals YouTube allows me to set is the number of super chats I want to receive. Can you imagine? But the goal I want to set for this live stream is to have like 100 people on this live. Let's make it happen, guys. Let us make it happen. Let us have 100 people on this live stream. If it's possible, just, smash that like button, destroy it, demolish it. Share it with your friends, people who usually want to see me live. Let them know that we are live, okay? Just keep sharing and sharing and sharing and smashing and smashing. Send it to your group chat on WhatsApp or wherever it is you have group chats on Discord. Let them know, okay? Let everyone know that we are live, please. Let's hit 100. We've hit 100 before, but let's do it again, okay? But it will not stop me from saying what I want to say. Maybe those people will catch up later. So yeah, I wanted to talk about all of these things, but then I saw what Candace Owens has been saying is it's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate to see what some people would do. I mean, at this point, I've gone from being angry with Candace Owens to just feeling sorry for her and feeling sad about what she's doing. Daniel, your hands should not be tired. Come on, go there and smash that like button. Your hands should not be tired right now, okay? Anyways, so yeah, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. In fact, more Candace Owens than Tucker Carlson, because I mean, it's just heartbreaking. Daniel Martinez is letting me know that he doesn't see Candace Owens' stuff. Well, that's why you have me. I have to go through the pain so that you don't have to, okay? Or at least my job is to let you endure, to lead you through the valley of the shadow of Candace Owens' content. It's really an abyss. It's like a layer of evil that I'm leading you through. Don't worry, I'll guide you, through it. This is your year though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death moment, okay? This is one of those moments for you. You get to, walk through whatever it is that Candace Owens is doing. But it's just pure evil at this point. I usually try. Those who know me very well will know that it took me a while to actually say that Candace Owens was an anti-Semite. It took me a while. Maybe I put the word out there like, hey, this is grifting behavior. This lady is a grifter. Maybe I did it, but in my mind, it took me a while to really accept the fact that Candace Owens was actually an anti-Semite who actually hated Jews and hated Israel. It took me a while to come to the fact that this lady actually, is a grifter. Actually, is just grifting. And still now, when I look at some of her content, I wonder, is this malice or just insanity? Or maybe it's both. I don't know. Maybe it's both. When I look at the things she posts on, I'm like, is this madness? Is this malicious behavior? Is this hatred? And man, it's sometimes in addition to praying for Charlie Kirk and his family and for Turning Point USA, I think we need to take every person, even though some of us don't like her, but we need to take a moment and really pray for this lady, because something is really going on with her. Something is really, really going on with her. Something dangerous. Something really dangerous is going on with her. Something really dangerous is going on with her. And let me not speak in parables any longer. I'm here to share my screen. Give me a moment. Let me share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Thank you, Bill Galactica, for becoming a member. Thank you so much. This is a reminder that we still collect money. Like Candace Owens, we are we are all grifters. All right. Anyways, so here's
the Hamptons.
Here's what Candace Owens had to say.
In the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill.
What she's talking about here, she said that, earlier, I think last month or so, that there was a meeting that Charlie Kirk attended in the Hamptons that was kind of like a staged intervention, that the meeting was a staged intervention, and she's about to tell us what she believed happened next in the meeting.
Ackman, because Charlie's thoughts.
And she believed that the person who staged the intervention, I just want us to be, to keep everybody up to speed so that you don't ask what is actually going on, so that you understand what we are watching now. Now, she believed that the intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, the billionaire Bill Ackman. He staged that intervention with Charlie Kirk. That is what this is about. So let me start again from the beginning. She said it happened in the Hamptons. Bill Ackman was hosting an event, and Charlie Kirk was called, and it was like a staged intervention. And she's going to tell us more about
in the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called, and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. I got to tell that. It felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Bibi would fund it, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there,
Imagine that somebody just passed, your best friend just passed, and It's not even up to a week. Is it up to a week? It's not even up to a week, and you are doing this. And you are doing this. Just imagine. For those who are late, we are reacting to Candace Owens' statement that she made in her recent podcast about Charlie Kirk being held under duress, like an intervention was staged for him. Essentially, she was saying that sometime last month or the month before, Bill Ackman, the billionaire, the Jewish billionaire Bill Ackman, staged an intervention and called on Charlie, and Charlie attended, and that Bill Ackman was very upset. Threats were made, and he was threatened like, this is your last chance. You better, get in line with Israel, or, whatever. And that millions were offered, tons of money. Some reports, according to Max Blumenthal, has already stated that 150 million was given to Charlie to I don't know, get him to become more pro-Israel than he already was. And she was saying that Bill Ackman was behind this. Bill Ackman was present. She also said later that Seth Dillon was also there. Seth Dillon is the CEO of the Babylon Bee, that he was also there. And these people were pressuring Charlie. Charlie was under duress to continue supporting Israel, to toe the line, and that, these were the things that we had done to him. Now, she wasn't there, but she says she's speaking on good authority. Whose authority? She wouldn't tell. And she keeps threatening people that she's going to leak messages they've sent to her, or leak messages that she had with Charlie about them. And this is somebody whose friend just died. I want everybody to keep this in mind. This is somebody whose friend just died. And this is what she's choosing to focus on. This is what she wants to talk about. Wolfie Doggy, thank you for I don't know. Pronouncing your name is kind of funny. Thank you for joining. I'm happy that you're joining me on the first live stream. This is kind of how it goes, okay? I appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is here already. 60 of you and more to come. Thank you so much. Again, we are talking about Candace Owens. I don't want to repeat myself, but anyone who is just joining can go back and see everything we've been watching. So this is where we are, and this is what she's saying. Right after, just few days after her friend was shot, somebody she claimed is her best friend. This is your best friend in the world. This is your time to grieve. This is your time to really, remember Charlie for all the good thing that he did. But you just did that for one day, right? One day was what you spent, and the remaining days you are using it to focus on Israel. This is what I call Israel derangement syndrome, where everything is about Israel. Every opportunity an individual gets, any prominent individuals like this, any opportunity they get, they find a way to make it about Israel. And yet, these people are the people that will blame everyone else for always talking about Israel. But no one was talking about Israel until you put it in. Okay, yes, Bibi Netanyahu, sent his condolence remarks, but he was not the only person who did. Every other world leader, as far many of them, in fact, I remember I was talking to somebody today, and I was like, with the amount of world leaders that are throwing in their condolence, their sad remarks concerning this incident, I am surprised that Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, has not sent in his remark, even though I know he and his administration are only hearing about Charlie Kirk for the first time. I'm surprised that they haven't thrown in theirs. Like, every world leader is doing that, but immediately Bibi Netanyahu opens his mouth, you find a problem with it. You're like, why is he talking? And now you have made everything about Israel. I mean, there are so many news stories. This is why it is annoying to me. One of the reasons, out of many. There are so many things to talk about today. Like I said earlier, I wanted to talk about Destiny. I wanted to talk about Bob Villain. I want to talk about the Emmys and all the Free Palestine that was going on in the Emmy with Harvey, what's his name? I've forgotten his name. Maybe if I see the name on my screen, I'll remember. But there's people we are doing the Stephen Colbert won an Emmy and all. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about George Abaronye. I wanted to talk about him. I wanted to talk about the new update about the killer of Charlie Kirk, what we know about him. I wanted to talk about other things. There's so many things to talk about. There is somebody who was hacked. There was this preacher that was hacked in France. A preacher who is a migrant from the Middle East. I think Afghanistan or one of those countries. I'm not sure of the details of which country he was from, but it's one of the Middle Eastern countries, who was hacked by Muslims. I wanted to talk about that. These are things worth talking about. But it seemed like we can't even talk about any other thing without first clarifying that this has nothing to do with Israel. It's so. I wanted to talk about the rally that just happened in the UK. That is an important thing to talk about. Very successful rally. In fact, I saw Valentina Gomez and I was like, this is very interesting. It's someone whose speech needs to be reacted to. I want to react to this. I want to talk about this right now. These are the things that were on my mind. But no, I go on Twitter and then I realize that the crazy woman is talking. And people are paying attention. And people are taking it serious. And it's kind of overshadowing every important news story that we should be talking about today. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that this is what people want. This is what people like Candace Owens want Tucker's legacy to be about. This is how they want their friend to be remembered, as somebody who was harassed by the Jews. Despite how false it is, this is what it is for her. It's so unfortunate. But let's keep watching.
Declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it at a bigger level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what BB didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. We just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah.
You know what she's trying to do here? She's trying to say this is the same thing that Elon Musk did after he was accused by the ADL of anti-Semitism, where he went to Auschwitz and then he went to Gaza. And the claim here is like, oh, this is the same thing they wanted Charlie Kirk to do. Let me tell you, many people, although not like funded, okay, it's kind of like suggesting. And even I know somebody who was really tirelessly working to make it possible, but even I was not too I was not too hyped about it or whatever. I just said, if it happened, it happened. If it doesn't happen, it happened. But many people have suggested to me, many people, many Jews who get to talk to me will be like, when are you coming to Israel? It's kind of like a normal thing. When are you coming to Israel? Will you be coming to Israel? Are you interested in coming to Israel? I can arrange it. I can tell you what I can do. Like, it's kind of like, and I understand it. Like, I don't see it as a problem. I understand where it's coming from. Come on, this is somebody who supports your country. You would love for them to come so that you can show them around, so that you can. I get that. I've even spoken to there's one Israeli who was pretty close to me. Although since I got married, it's really hard to keep up with my friends. My wife has stolen me away from my online friends, and I have a real life. Anyways, she was like, if I can't come to Israel, she would love to come to Nigeria. It was we had conversations like that. I think it is every person who is pro-Israel since this war began, I think they have had like one or two offers to come to Israel. It's kind of like normal at this point. Any person who knows how it works will know that you always get that invitation. It is nothing out of the ordinary. It's not like, oh, they're trying to re-educate me or re-educate you or give you in-depth education or indoctrinate you or do something to make you more pro-Israel than you already were. And, it's not a joke. It is real that Mossad does not pay us. It's like they don't. I know some people believe that we get paid. Of course, I'm not that big of a deal, so I maybe that's why they are not paying me. Maybe those who are really the big shots, maybe they get paid. But I doubt. I have not been paid. Nobody has called me and told me about payments. That is the funny thing. Like, I belong to many Jewish groups not many. I belong to a few Jewish groups on WhatsApp. I belong to some on Discord. And nowhere amongst the conversation I've had with Jews behind the scene, everyone be like, hey, I will give you money so that you can keep going harder. Or, here is this money. Thank you for. No. The where I get money from is from those who send me money on YouTube and those who send to buy me a coffee. That's all I get. That's all the money I get. That's the only way Mossad can ever finance me. That is it. People don't really. That's why when I hear some of these things, I'm like, it's either they are not reaching out to me or it is not happening. But who knows? Maybe there's someone somewhere who is getting paid. Mossad, if you're paying somebody, pay me. I promise you, I will double my effort. So all this talk about money being paid, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I mean, why would they pay Charlie Kirk to be more pro-Israel than he already is? And when we go further in this live stream, you will see just how pro-Israel Charlie Kirk was. Like, he was really pro-Israel. Like, he's the pro of the pro-Israels. As he's really, really pro-Israel. A staunch defender of Israel. As a matter of fact, the meeting, anyway, we'll get into it. But you'll see just how many of the things that Candace Owens is saying here is false and has been, many people have come out. You know, she's like, I dare you all. You can hear her earlier in the clip. She was saying, I dare people to come out and refute what I'm saying. And people have come out in numbers who were present or who were aware of what was going on. Many of them have come out and said, this is not what happened. This is not what happened at the meeting in the Hamptons. If this happened, I was not there. People who were present when Bill Ackman was present have said, no, it did not go down like this. In fact, from the details that have been released about the meeting, it had nothing. In fact, it wasn't organized by Bill Ackman like she is claiming. It was the meeting was organized by Charlie Kirk himself. And Bill was not even present throughout the meeting. He just was present for a few, maybe 1 or 2 hours, like they said, and then was gone. But the one person who wasn't even there had brought up the meeting and is trying to get everyone to respond. Tell us what happened in that meeting. Very soon, Candace Owens will be asking the widow of Charlie Kirk to tell her every conversation that she had with her husband, so that they can confirm that he was not under pressure from Israel. This is so ridiculous.
We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel, and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay.
Were you there? No. Were you there? No. Did you witness it? No. Were you there? It's hearsay, and you are saying it categorically like it happened. Like that's how it went down. She wasn't there.
Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid. Okay. There were
her sources that would not, even the ones that talk to Max Blumenthal, that talk to the Gray Zone, will not even disclose their names. The sources will not even give their names. The people that are here making the sources so-called will not even give their names.
Conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon, I was going to go to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages. But my friend was shot in the neck. And I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding.
Yeah. My friend was just shot. That's why I'm behaving like a witch. My friend was just shot. That's why I don't have common human decency to respect the fact that other people are grieving his demise and will want to be left alone, to spend time with their family, to spend time trying to process what just happened. No, for Candace Owens, everybody needs to answer her right now. She demands answers.
Okay. This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweets because, he tweeted, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but
You see the level of accusations that are just going out and out. Everything she's saying are accusations that she cannot back up. I think Bill Ackman and Seth Dillon and every person that this lady is trying to defame should sue her. See, you have to do it the Donald Trump way. You have to do it the Donald Trump way. You just have to do it the Donald Trump way. Sue any person that defame you right now. Like, this is the only way that people will be responsible with their speech. This is the only way for people to be responsible with how they talk about other people, is if you sue them. I'm telling you, see the other time I was watching, we are all watching in the other live stream when Donald Trump was about to announce that, they've got some good information on the suspect. And he prefixed it by saying, we have to be careful. We don't want to get sued. I think that should be the way people should be talking, especially these pundits. This is the way they should be talking. I need to be careful because I don't want to get sued. That is why I am, even though I dislike and I despise so many of the things that Emmanuel Macron represents and so many of the things he has done, this is why I want him to proceed with his lawsuit against Candace Owens. And this is why I want, if possible, for him to bankrupt this lady if it is possible. I really want it to happen, that the same thing that they did to, not just the same thing in the sense of whether it was just or unjust, but kind of the same verdict that was given against Alex Jones. I am hoping for the same thing to be given against Candace Owens, just so that she can learn to be careful how she speaks about people. Or maybe she wouldn't learn and position herself to be a martyr, whatever it is, a martyr for freedom of speech, someone whose speech is being attacked, whatever it is, but at least let her pay for it. Because thus far, she has been going on without consequences. And maybe that's why she keeps going on and going on and going on. Because she's just throwing out accusations that are baseless. Messages are flying around. I am threatening people. I am saying, if you have it, stop doing us like the victims of what is it called? Jeffrey Epstein. We have the list. We will release it soon. We will release it next year. If you have the text messages, you have no qualms with showing text messages. So what are you waiting for? Start leaking them. Or do you want to milk them? Do you want to milk them? Is that what this is about? Do you want to milk them so that your fans can be like, okay, when is the next one dropping? Just like you did with the whole Emmanuel Brigitte Macron. Maybe you can do a documentary about this. How about it, Candace? And then, feature like 15 different adverts while you are on it. Because everybody knows that this lady is just shameless. Very shameless.
But I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week, who were at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again, in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat.
Oh, please.
I am inviting you guys. I will give you my platform, actually. to come clear matters up and tell us what really happened.
Yeah,
Because,
that is what we should be
I think
discussing now that
Charlie
your friend just passed. That is what should be
was
that is what should be the major topic of discussion. Come to my podcast. Let us discuss what you are doing at the Hamptons. Come to my podcast. Jesus Christ. This is it. This is what you want to do right now. This is gossip is what you want to. This lady has become like the Daily Mail. She went from the Daily Wire to the Daily Mail. She's now a gossip blogger, a tabloid writer on YouTube. This is it. Gossip, chasing old wives' tale. That's what she has become. If it is not brief, it's not every latest stupid, implausible conspiracy theory will come out of her mouth first before anyone else.
definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually.
Yeah. Here's the new one. Yes, another new claim by Candace Owens.
Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step. Okay. You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. He says, ha ha. Speaking about Mary. And typically, when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo Christian. Again, it is
Even when she wants to say that Charlie Kirk was becoming Catholic, it's just to attack Jews. Oh, Charlie was changing his perspective, was becoming more Catholic. Why was he becoming more Catholic? Because he was becoming less. Everything about this lady's life is about Israel. Everything about her life is about Israel, is about Jews. Everything is amazing. Like, it's really amazing. A human being that everything about her life, every single thing about this lady's life is Israel. Like, she chose to be a Catholic for Israel. Just so that she can say, I am not Judo. It's Catholicism. The only thing she has learned from Catholicism is not, anything about faith, anything about church history, anything about the church fathers, anything about no. None of that matters. What matters to her is that now that I'm a Catholic, it gives me the license to say that I'm not a judo Christian, whatever that is. Can you imagine? Somebody whose entire life revolves around Jews. My goodness. And she's not done. And I want us to take note of some of the things that she said in there. I think it's important that we take note of this. Some of the things that she has said, some of the accusations. One, she said that there was a meeting in the Hamptons. Two, she said that the meeting was organized by Bill Ackman. Three, she said that in the meeting, Charlie was kind of ambushed and an intervention was set. Four, she said that threats were being made against Charlie in the meeting. Fifth, she said that it was in the meeting that tons of money were offered to Charlie and he refused. Sixth, she said that it was in the meeting that the Prime Minister of Israel invited Charlie to Israel and Charlie declined. Seventh, is there any other thing that I'm missing? She said that there are so many people that are there and they will not come up to own it because they are afraid because someone is leaking messages. These are the things she said. Eight, she also said that Charlie was becoming more Catholic, that he was praying the rosary, he was attending mass. Keep these 7 things or 8 things in mind. Keep all of them in mind, because all of them, every single one of them, I'm going to present you with something that will make you wonder if it was indeed true. Of course, I don't know the state of mind of Charlie. I don't know everything, but there are things that we have that are already out there in the public that makes it kind of, really? Is this true? And these are not things that Charlie said from like last year. These are things that he said pretty recently. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to look at another video from Candace Owens. In this one, she was making threats about people saying that they are going to replace Charlie. That they are talking about replacing him. And this is what she had to say about that.
Belly right now. To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay, Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual. Okay. I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. I don't, there will.
Look, you know what is funny about this? It's like you put somebody there and expect us to follow. Look, Charlie was a great guy, was an awesome guy, but he wasn't like the leader of conservative pundits. He wasn't like their leader. He wasn't like the leader of the conservative pundits of America. CP USA was not the leading organization of conservative pundits that Candace Owens was in any way following. It's not like Candace was ever anything close to Charlie Kirk in any way. It wasn't like she was anything close to him. It wasn't like you could never, nobody could ever make the assertion that Candace was ever following the leadership of, that Candace was ever following the leadership of Charlie Kirk. Nobody can make that claim. Candace was never following in the footsteps. In fact, these people are not the same. Okay, they are not the same in any way. I mean, Charlie is more charitable, more articulate, more intelligent, more smart, more organized, more strategic, more effective, more human, more Christian than anything. His legacy is bigger than anything Candace Owens can ever achieve in her entire pathetic career, except she changes. But thus far, she's nowhere near the impact that this man had made, rather. And here she is talking about following in. And if you're going to put somebody there and expect us to follow, expect you to follow you. And why are you speaking like you are his widow? You are just a friend. Why are you speaking like you are his widow? Like his wife cannot control things. She needs you to step up and fight. It makes me feel like you're trying to set up the next accusation you are going to start making is that people are controlling his wife. I feel like that's the next thing you are about to say.
There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay. And I want you guys to understand this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now. Don't do it. Okay. Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair. Okay. Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
Oh, of course, Israel is trying to kill her. Please. Anyways, of course, you will be like, oh, I'm not saying that you're trying to kill me. Every live stream that has been had since Charlie Kirk's demise, one thing has been clear. His chair has been empty. And that's symbolic of the fact that nobody can replace him. And of course, what she's responding to was the video where Ben Shapiro said, we all have to pick up the mic, the bloodstained mic of Charlie Kirk, and carry on his legacy, which is kind of the point Ben was trying to make was, we cannot let what this man stood for just go be in vain. We all, in fact, that's the whole meaning behind the chants that you see on the streets in various cities and countries in the West, where they are shouting, we are Charlie Kirk. We are all Charlie Kirk, meaning we are all going to carry on his legacy. We are all going to embody what he represents. From now henceforth, we are going to try to live our life by the principles, the good godly principles that he laid for us. That is what this is about. It's not about trying to replace him at Turning Point USA. Obviously, that's not what it is about. But for Candace, people are trying to replace him. I mean, who can replace him? Really, who can? Nobody can. Nobody. This is an individual, outstanding individual person. This is a unique, outstanding individual that no one can replace. But of course, Candace is going to float around the idea that he's being replaced. That's not all. Okay, so again, I want us to keep track of some of the things. We need to add, in addition to the 8 things we've mentioned, 9th accusation that she made in her recent show is that Charlie Kirk is being replaced. That's the 9th one. Charlie Kirk is being replaced. Now, the next claim that she makes is about Bibi's interview, the one that she did on that he did on Newsmax, Newsmax, where he said that Israel was not responsible. In fact, he kind of talked about the accusation of Israel being responsible for Charlie's assassination as, kind of, this is disgusting. This is, I mean, why would people make this? This is ridiculous, which is kind of the normal response to accusations like this. But no, Candace Owens is going to make a case out of this, trying to show you that this is not supposed to be, why would he even respond to this?
And it's not a good sign.
Now listen to what she had to say.
When somebody, and it's not a good sign when somebody has to ask you, as Greta Van Susteren asked Bibi Netanyahu in his secondary hit regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's not a good sign if somebody even has to ask if you did have anything to do with the assassination. It doesn't make you a great.
You see, this is the game. This is the game. Candace Owens' fans and people that she appeals to on the internet will make a claim, will popularize the claim, and then a journalist gets to ask the Prime Minister of Israel about this claim that has been circulating on the internet. And then the person who is asked the question is blamed that the question is even being asked, even though people like this are the reason why that question is being asked. Do you understand it? See, with people like Candace Owens, there is no winning. There's no way you are going to win. Anything you do is proof that you are guilty. You do nothing. Why is he silent? You do something. Why is he doing something? Why is he speaking? You criticize him. He says nothing. Oh, why is he silent? Because he knows I have a point. He says something. Oh, why is he saying something? Because he knows I have a point. There is no winning with this person. Oh, why would they even ask him the question? Oh, it has nothing to do with the fact that people like you have spread this lie that Israel is behind everything, and people are throwing up that theory everywhere on social media. It has nothing to do with you. It's just him. Why? Why would he even be asked that kind of question? People ask Trump all kinds of stupid, ridiculous questions that he has called out and bashed. Maybe we should also ask the question, why is Trump even being asked these questions? I mean, it is somehow that people will want to ask Trump all these ridiculous questions. She doesn't apply that logic to Trump. She doesn't apply that logic in any other situation except this one. Because as the truth is, as Prime Minister of Israel, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that he is going to do that will be pleasing to Candace Owens. You answer to people accusing you, you are guilty. You don't answer, you are guilty. You move, you are guilty. You don't move, you are guilty. You have been guilty before you even do anything. You breathe, you are guilty. You don't breathe. Why are you not breathing? You are alive. Oh, why is he alive? You died. Oh, he staged his death. There is no it's a lose-lose situation, no matter what you do.
Person, okay? And that's what she asked him. Take a listen.
Before I let you.
Anyway, we are going to watch that video separately. Let me bring up something else that she has said. I mean, she said a lot, a whole lot. She has made the whole thing about herself. Like, she has made this entire thing about herself. She made the entire thing about herself. Completely about herself.
We watched Charlie get shot in the throat. That feels a little bit symbolic. It feels like they wanted us to know that his voice was problematic. Again, I don't know who they is. After we take this brief break, we're going to go through the investigation.
You don't know
You
who
watch
they-
Charlie get shot
I
in the
don't know,
throat. That feels a little bit.
maybe the guy who actually did the shooting, maybe the guy who was in a relationship with a trans individual. You know, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. This is so
symbolic.
this is so unfortunate. This is so unfortunate. You know. This is so unfortunate. This is so unfortunate. Oh God.
Imagine.
Do you know Candace Owens she said, I kid you not, you're about to watch it. She said that why didn't the Jews use their spy network and their intel and their surveillance to find the culprit? I kid you not. She said that. Just watch. Just watch.
Personally, BB, I would have appreciated if you guys used all of your spyware, you've been spying on us for years, to maybe track down the killer. But I guess this is where you thought it was best to do a little propaganda for Israel would be better than us helping us track down the killer. Imagine.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what is funny about this? If Israel had used their, their surveillance or whatever they have, their intelligence to track down the killer, you know, just already what she would say. She'll be like, "This is why you can't trust these people. This is Israel intelligence. You expect us to what is it called? To believe in Israeli intelligence. Don't our own intelligence organization know how to crack down? Why do we need help and support from Israel?" This is what she will be saying. Oh my God, this is so unfortunate. This is just so unfortunate. This is what she will be saying. This is what she will be saying. Ah, oh God. Oh, this is just so unfortunate. This is just so unfortunate. Anyway, so those are the claims from Candace Owens. Now let's go to the rebuttal. We are going to have to rebut all of this one by one. All the claims one by one. Offer something that looks like a rebuttal. After pushing out Bill Ackman's name and saying that he knows that he's not going to respond, Bill actually responded. And this is his response. I hope you guys can see it. This is his response. This afternoon, Candace Owens slandered me by accusing me of staging an intervention with Charlie Kirk, in which threats were made. You heard her when she said that. With respect to his supposed evolving stance on Israel at an event I hosted in the Hamptons. Candace also intimated that I blackmailed Charlie. On the show, Candace said that she would be very happy for me to dispute this narrative. While it pains me to drive more traffic to her program, I am responding here to clear my name. It saddens me that we live in a society where social media influencers seek to monetize the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. For the record, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, or anyone associated with him. I have never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie Kirk. I have never offered Charlie or Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence Charlie's opinion on anything. In fact, my interactions with Charlie Kirk have been extremely cordial, albeit limited, regretfully so, as I was very impressed by him and his work, and I will sadly never see him again. In an effort to clear the record, I shared the following. I have followed Charlie Kirk on X for some time and greatly admired him. While I didn't agree with Charlie on every issue, I had enormous respect for his intelligence, vast knowledge about religion, and his willingness to take on all comers in open mic sessions on campus and otherwise. Periodically, I would repost some of his posts and video clips. I connected with Charlie when he DM'd me in late May of this year and expressed interest in meeting me. In light of our respective schedules, we were unable to find a time to meet in person, so we scheduled a Zoom on June 11th. On the Zoom, he explained to me that conservatives, in particular young conservatives, were getting tired of defending Israel. And this was very concerning to him. I asked him how I could learn more, and he suggested that it might be useful to convene a group of young conservative influencers on a host of topics that will include Israel to get a better sense of how the conservative community was thinking about Israel and other relevant issues of concern to young people. On the Zoom, Charlie also said that his open mic conversation on campus were very effective in addressing issues on the mind of students. But he was the only person with limited bandwidth. He suggested that recruiting a group of junior Charlie Kirks who would host open mic sessions on college campuses would be an effective way to encourage debate on a host of issues, an approach he believed would be worthy of consideration and better enable students to get to the truth. I expressed interest in learning more, and we thereafter scheduled a series of conference calls and Zooms with Charlie, Turning Point staffs, and members of my team in an effort to assemble a diverse group of influencers who we could convene for a day and have a session. In addition to getting a better sense of what and where young conservatives were on various issues, Charlie thought doing so might enable him to identify potential candidates who could launch their own campus stores and carry forth his approach to dialogue. We chose the afternoon of August 4th to the afternoon of the 5th for the convening. And Charlie and members of my team worked to put together an invitation list. I offered to host the session in Bridgehampton and cover the cost so that I could attend some of the sessions as I was working from there at that time. Charlie sent out the invitations and 35 or so influencers accepted. Charlie estimated that the influencers who attended collectively had more than 100 million followers. Charlie and Turning Point put together the agenda for the meeting, and the topics were the economic future of America, the cultural landscape of dating and marriage, the convergence of East and West, Mamdani, the new threat to America. Charlie asked me to moderate the economic future discussion, which I did, and thereafter hosted a Q&A section with the participants. The convergence on East and West included a discussion on immigration, value systems, the US approach to foreign policy, and Israel. While I had wanted to attend the convergence panel, I had a board meeting that conflicted with this session. Thus, those that attended this session said that the Israel discussion was similar to the other sessions, with the attendees expressing various points of views, as well as explaining the views of their followers. Some participants were critical of Israel and US support for Israel, and others were supportive. The session was punctuated by meals. I attended one group lunch and a group of dinners where I sat with Charlie and others. I found the session I attended interesting, and I really enjoyed meeting the influencers. It gave me considerable perspective on what is on the mind of young Americans on a wide range of issues. At the end of the event, I sat with Charlie and members of my team, and we discussed the events of the convening. Charlie believed that he had identified a number of potential Turning Point ambassadors who could launch open mic events on campus, and that he would follow up with them. We agreed to keep in touch thereafter. We corresponded by text thereafter over the next few weeks on a range of topics that did not include Israel. And the next thing I knew, he was gone. In short, this was not an intervention to blackmail Charlie Kirk into adopting certain views on Israel. It was nothing of the sort. And this is the apostate prophet saying the same thing I thought. Sue this lady. Just sue her already. Just sue her. And it wasn't just Charlie who had to release a statement. The executive producer, I think that Charlie's executive producer also had to release a statement. Charlie's executive producer also had to release a statement because everyone is being accused of holding something, hiding something, not disclosing something. Now everyone has to show their pockets. So this is from Andrew Cole. I don't know how this name is pronounced, but this is from Andrew. and he's the executive producer. He's Charlie Kirk's executive producer. And this is what he had to say. I have been asked about the Ackman events more than a few times now. So I asked our staff who we are traveling with Charlie to find out what's true and what's not. His team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in his hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on BB, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. We don't believe we don't believe this came from Bill. And Charlie's reply was, honestly, people tell me not to have Tucker. People telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for Amfest too. Charlie personally told me he had a cordial relationship with Bill and the event was productive. Those are the facts. Now, this is from Josh Hammer. The next one I'm going to read now is from Josh Hammer. Now, you might remember Josh Hammer as the person who debated Dave Smith on Turning Point USA, the recent Turning Point USA conference, the one that AP spoke at. I think that's the recent one, the last one that was just held rather. And this is what Josh Hammer had to say. I was also there, and everything Andrew says here is accurate. Now, Seth Dillon also had to, Seth Dillon also had to release a statement, and this is Seth Dillon's statement. These are people that Candace said would not say, that she dares them to make a statement. And they are all making statements. And it's kind of unfortunate. It's really kind of unfortunate. I think I saw this this quote that says the anti-Semites that's how you put the quote goes. Said the anti-Semite accuses the Jew of being a thief, not because he believes that it is true, but because he wants to watch the Jew show his pocket. Kind of that humiliation that comes from you having to prove that you are not who they claim you are. Kind of watching you try to defend yourself is the satisfaction. The goal is not to say something because they believe it is true, but just that satisfaction that comes from you showing your pocket, you providing evidence, you trying to prove that you are innocent. That satisfaction is all they want. And at this point, I tend to believe that is what Candace Owens wants. She wants to watch these people say, no, I did not do it. No, I did not do it. That's why they keep pushing accusations. And when you say, no, I did not do it, they say, you see? What, look at his defense. These people are not bringing receipts. Where are the receipts? That's the next thing she's going to say. Everybody is releasing statements, but where are the receipts? Where are the text messages? Can I see a video of how the whole event turns out? Can somebody give me their brain so I can analyze it and go through their memory one after the other and see exactly if this is not how it turned out? I think that is the thing that is at play here. And if that is the case, it is really, 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 really despicable. It is really despicable that people will do this kind of thing. So this is what Seth Dillon had to say. On July 8th, I got a text from Charlie Kirk inviting me to an influencer retreat. The theme was Save the West. I told him I was available and would see him there. Very little information was provided, but it was a turning point event spearheaded by Charlie, so I assumed correctly that there would be some good people and a great program. The retreat took place in the Hamptons on August 4th and 5th. At least 30 people attended. I only knew a handful of them personally. An itinerary was provided when we arrived. There were meals and themed sessions covering topics like American identity, immigration, economics, and foreign policy. Charlie stood at the front of the room. He would speak a little, then open the floor for discussion. He drove the discussion with challenging questions, and there were spirited debates. If there were private meetings that took place, I wasn't in them. If there were angry confrontations, threats, or coercion, I didn't witness or hear about any of it. Should evidence of such thing come to light, it would be news to me. One concern Charlie raised, which I believe he also raised publicly, was about free speech. He felt that criticism of Israel was so discouraged, so penalized, that we aren't really free to voice it. Some in the room agreed with him. I argue that while it can come at a cost in certain contexts, it also pays pretty handsomely in others. There are people who have generated massive audience and engagement by doing little other than criticize Israel and Jews. I pointed out that in my case, I was criticizing the critics. I was criticizing the critics that had come at that. I pointed out that in my case, it was criticizing the critics that had come at a high cost. Prominent figures on the right now have me in their crosshairs as an enemy who must be destroyed. And of course, we know who those people are. Of course, it's Candace Owens and the likes. That I'm in a position where I feel the need to write this post and clear my name of any wrongdoing is only further evidence of this. After the retreat, I sent Charlie a text to let him know it meant a lot that he had wanted me there. He replied, "Of course, I'm here for you." I responded, "Same." He then shared a verse from scripture that has been on my mind ever since his senseless murder. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 46 verse 1. I did not recognize or participate in an intervention with Charlie. I was there at his personal request. I did not coerce him or threaten him or pressure him or witness anyone else do any of these things. We spent 2 days hearing from our friend, both his concerns and his wisdom, and he took time to listen to and encourage each of us. He welcomed our feedback and debate, and that's why we were there. I also didn't place any call to try and stop anything from being published or publicized. On the contrary, Charlie's team reached out to me yesterday and told me not to respond to any inquiry about the retreat because they were being made in bad faith. He said these people have no good intentions during a time while we mourn our friend. They also apologized to me that I was being dragged into this and said that they were doing what they could to put false rumors and allegations to rest. I thanked them and told them I was sorry they were having to deal with it too. I'm sick with grief over the loss of my friend, and that sadness is compounded by the fact that instead of honoring Charlie and his legacy, his name is being exploited to generate controversy, confusion, and conspiracies. My heart breaks for everyone involved whose integrity and affection for Charlie are being called into question. I'm sure there will be responses to this that accuse me of dishonesty. I note in advance that they will be coming from notoriously dishonest people. I've also attached screenshot of correspondence with Charlie and his team to support what I have said here. The fact that any of this is necessary is a disgrace. And here's the picture showing his text with Charlie where he was inviting him. Here's a picture of the text message afterwards. And here's a picture of the text that he received from Charlie's team telling him not to respond to, people who will be asking for comments. And really, it is such a shame that this is kind of the conversation we are having. It is such a shame. It is really, really such a shame. And it's not just Seth Dillon that had to, the people that had to come out and say, no, this is not what happened. It's just, here's another one from this guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Names that are spelled like this can be difficult for me to pronounce. So, but I know who he is, and many of you would know who he is. I think it's Xavier de Russo. I hope I got it clear. Yeah, I got it. I pronounced it correctly. But anyway, he had to clear the air too. And this is what he said. Clearing the air regarding the Hampton trip with Charlie Kirk and Bill Ackman. What is true? 1, yes, dozens of influencers, including myself, were invited to an event by Charlie and his team, not by Bill Ackman. Charlie wanted to get to know rising conservative voices and where we stood on various issues. 2, the subject matter were primarily about following topics: Islam's growing influence in the West, marriage and dating, Mamdani, right-wing infighting, the economy, and various narratives regarding Israel. 3, Charlie wanted to see us respectfully debate him and each other. There was a range of views there on every topic. He wanted to learn our perspective and analyze our debating skills from an objective point of view. He started each conversation with a provocative statement to encourage the creators to debate. Example, on one of the topics he started by saying, rough quote, "If I were to post right now, Bibi Netanyahu needs to resign, what would be the reaction?" This, of course, led to a number of responses. Someone said the post would indirectly empower Hamas, and Charlie responded that her statement was moral blackmail, and that if she wants to debate the topic of Israel, she needs to work on using more facts and less emotion. Conversations with Charlie were less about what to believe. It was about how to express it if we want to truly make an impact. 4. Bill and Charlie never debated or argued. I don't know where that narrative came from. It came from Candace Owens. If it happened, it certainly wasn't around any of us. Bill mostly spoke about marriage and economics, then chilled with us. 5. I'm not going to pretend to know every thought of Charlie's, but he very much stood with Israel. His frustrations expressed during the Hamptons event were that many people debated the topic emotionally rather than logically. Mind you, this was a small portion of the event. 6. When Max Blumenthal from Grey Zone, which I never heard of until he called, contacted me, I was wine drunk and boarding a boat in Italy. I was literally just confused why he was calling me and annoyed that he wouldn't tell me who gave him my personal number. Charlie was murdered a few weeks ago, so when I got a call about the Hampton trip, I was trying to assess what narrative someone was putting together. So no, Max, I didn't panic. I just don't trust you. It's giving stranger danger. Lastly, nothing about the Hampton trip from the point of view of creators was an intervention. Charlie designed the event and led it as a chance to listen to all of us and spark conversations in a way only he could. We were encouraged to keep using our voices and fight for what we believe in, regardless of where we fell on various issues. That's exactly who Charlie Kirk was. And my last memory of him in the Hamptons as something I will cherish, I will always cherish. Everybody had to give lengthy statements. And as you can see from every statement that I'm painstakingly reading, that this meeting did not go the way she narrated. Now, of course, somebody who is a cynic like Candace Owens will say, well, everybody is giving coordinated responses. This looks like it is scripted. They are all scripted. Now, all of them are now saying the same thing. Let them release text messages. Want to see the text messages. Want to see the text messages. Want to see recorded phone calls. Give us proof and something like that. That is what it's going to come down to. It's going to go from, I dare you to speak, to, oh, why is everybody speaking? That's how it's going to go. And her fans will be so dumb and stupid to recognize that she was the one daring them to speak. And now that they've spoken, she's like, oh, why is everybody speaking? And why are they saying the same thing? As if them saying the same thing is not proof that the event did not go the way she has said it went. No, it is proof that they are all coordinating. We all know how this is going to go. It's just a lose-lose situation. And that's not all. That's not all. This is from an Axios correspondent at the White House, who also had to contact people to know exactly what was going on. He even showed text messages that he had received from people describing what happened. This is from Mark Caputo. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Sorry if I'm not. Someone who was inside the room told me this about the reporting that there was a big row between Bill Ackman and Kirk over Israel. And this is what the person said. How that event was described in that story was not at all my experience. Bill's entire talk was about the economy and the markets, maybe one or two questions about Israel. But Candace was like, this guy is changing, he was changing his opinion. He was at the verge of becoming, pro-Hamas. He was at the verge of calling this whole thing a genocide. He was at the verge of changing his mind. He was almost there. He just needed a few more seconds, just 30 seconds more, and he would have been, he will have been one of the most anti-Israel voices you can ever find on the right. He was leaning more towards the right. Now, this is from someone called Rabbi Pal, and he said that the night before Charlie's assassination, when he was going on campus, that they had a conversation, that him and Pal that him and this rabbi, Charlie and this rabbi had a conversation. And they were talking about, and here's the funny thing about this news, this article. The rabbi said he and Charlie was talking about how Charlie was going to respond when people bring out accusations of genocide on Israel. The rabbi was telling me, okay, this is how you respond. These are the facts. These are what you say in this debate if they are to bring this up. Because Charlie was, he said that Charlie was in a combative mood. He was ready to, when you say somebody is in combative mood, like he was ready to go. He was ready to get on campus and answer every question everybody had. This was what the rabbi had to say. I have to zoom this so that everybody can see it, even though this news site kind of used one of the smallest font I've ever seen in my life. Their image is bigger than the font they used to tell their stories. Anyway, Charlie was in high spirit and in a combative mood just before kicking off his America comeback tour at Utah Valley University, said a rabbi friend who spoke to him for an hour that night before his death. Rabbi, that's his name, 55, an American-born cleric who lives in Israel, met with Kirk over Zoom on Tuesday night. He was excited to get back on the campus tour, this rabbi said, who said he often spoke with Kirk before public appearance to advise him on how to defend Israel effectively. We became good friends, the rabbi told the Post, calling the 31-year-old activist unbelievably courageous in the face of so many Gen Z conservatives who were turning on Israel. That worried the heck out of him, the rabbi said. He held fast, and it wasn't easy. Often the people who challenged Kirk at events bombarded him with questions about Israel, the rabbi said. Charlie was always seeking true information, said the rabbi, of his evangelical Christian friend. Hours before the assassination in Utah, the two met online to prepare for the smear against Israel he would inevitably face during his tour on college campuses. He was working out talking points, playing the role of devil's advocate, pushing us on these issues, trying to sharpen the iron, said this rabbi, who specialized in Jewish-Christian relations. He was in a combative mood, recalled the rabbi, which is good. He was preparing for debates and attacks. This is the rabbi in question, by the way. Charlie stood alone to a great extent in that whole Gen Z conservative world as far as being pro-Israel, the rabbi said, and his life would have been a whole lot easier if he wasn't. There were prominent people actively working to get him to drop his support for Israel on a daily basis, he insisted. The two men first met in December 2023 when Kirk joined a 12-person Shabbat dinner during a Turning Point America First event. Not first. Okay, then the rabbi learned that Charlie was interested in observing the Sabbath, which is something people don't know, that Charlie had a culture of observing the Sabbath. Every Friday night at sundown, Charlie would turn off his smartphone and put it in the drawer until Saturday sundown, recounted the rabbi. I found that to be fascinating that this guy, one of the busiest person you ever see, do Sabbath or Shabbat. He said it enhanced his family. The rabbi said, Kirk even wrote a forthcoming book on the subject, Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life, which is already a bestseller. And then there are other things that we have said. Now, this is what was happening. This is the person who they want us to believe was already turning, was already becoming, as anti-Israel as Tucker Carlson and the likes. This was the person who was already turning, whose perspective was gradually shifting. This is what they want us to believe. Yeah, this is what we are getting from people who spoke to him hours before his sad demise. And this person is fortunate for me to see his or her live chat. This Frank is selective of the people he have humanity for. What kind of hint? What is the meaning of that? Well, it's good that I don't know what that means, but I'm selective of people I have humanity for. Okay, I'm happy that is what you have. That's your takeaway from everything I've been saying. If that's your takeaway, fine. But of course, it's true. I'm selective of who I have humanity for. What else? Now, this is the one clip that they keep, talking about endlessly as proof that Charlie was turning on Israel. Now, mind you, this clip was from earlier this year. This clip was from earlier this year. And people are now posting it as proof that Charlie was turning on his position with regards to Israel. This is their proof.
Like, I see what's happening, and it's my job to comment honestly on it. But I am sick of being lectured on, like, you have to see it exactly as we see it and support everything, or you're against us.
So this is so important, Megan. And again, I don't want you cannot say everyone in the pro-Israel, and I don't say it, acts that way. But I got
Agreed.
texts about you, Megan, saying, why is Megan like doing the bidding of Hamas? I was like, what are you talking about? Megan's the best. Like, what? Like, she's amazing. And I said, why are you texting me about Megan? And I at that point, and so this is what they don't understand. You and I, Megan, and Tucker is in the same category, and they've tried to go after Tucker.
Yeah.
Is that the more you attack our moral character, the more we're going to double down in a direction, because 100%. Screw you, I don't do it that way. Okay.
Right.
Like, when tell me I'm wrong. Cool. Tell me if I got my facts wrong. By the way, on the Epstein thing, Naftali Bennett says he wasn't an Epstein agent. We have to be pursuers of truth. They've denied it. Fine. Let's keep digging. Okay, fine. But the thing that I think is being lost is, like, on some part of the population, you can scold them into silence, right? But if I have any deviation of a purity test, any deviation whatsoever, such as hosting a focus group, right, Megan, with a bunch of our students that went viral, having Dave Smith or Tucker at my event, it is all of a sudden, oh, Charlie is he's no longer with us and all that. I said, wait a second, what do you mean? What does with us mean exactly?
And see, now many people may not agree with Charlie here, and to a degree I don't, but you have to understand where he's coming from in this conversation he's having about people who are always like, how will I describe it? They want everybody to act in a particular way. They are like, oh, this is a purity test. You have to do everything this particular way. And if you deviate a bit from it, if you deviate even the slightest from it, then you are no longer pro-Israel. Now, let's be honest. This is the part where, now, of course, Charlie Kirk is a great person, but he's not always right. So let's be honest. What was the thing that Meghan did that made people wary of how she was moving, so to speak? She hosted Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay? And why MTG, let me just use her this thing. Why MTG was on her show, MTG was spouting lies about Israel. Spouting lies. And it's not just, oh, these are it was lies. She was spouting lies about Israel, spouting lies about the Jewish community in America, saying things like a judge just ruled that it is unconstitutional to burn the flag of Israel, which was never the case. These are the kind of lies that she was spouting, and people were upset. People were upset. And people were wondering, why would Meghan do this? Why will you platform MTG? Now, granted, to their credit, there is this thing people do online, especially among the pro-Israel crowd, and it's the truth. When somebody makes a mistake, let's say somebody makes a strategic mistake, or somebody hosts somebody and then did not hold the conversation well. Sorry. When they do that, they are immediately labeled as anti-Semitic, as grifters, as people who are taking advantage of the situation, as people who stands with Israel is not 100% and stuff like that. And I think that's not the case. I feel presenters make mistake. They make mistake. Like Meghan, Charlie, they're not perfect. Sometimes they host people. Sometimes they don't see it the way you see it, and it's fine. Even though they are in support of your movement, and it's fine. Like, it is fine. It is fine. And for me, I feel it is important for everyone to notice that, to take note of that, and to recognize that it is not always the case that every person who is pro-Israel, there are people who are pro-Israel. I find it's interesting to me. I don't understand how they do it, but I do not doubt their loyalty, or not, let me not say loyalty, but their commitment to supporting Israel. I do not doubt it, but there are many people who support Israel and don't have a problem with some of the things Tucker Carlson says. And even if they have an issue with how Tucker Carlson says or the kind of things he says, they don't see it as an issue. I don't know how they do it, but there are people like that. That somebody does not find an issue with what Tucker Carlson is saying or does not see it as an issue doesn't mean that they are no longer pro-Israel. Now, it's kind of like an unfortunate thing for me because I feel it doesn't help you in the long run. I feel it's not a good thing. I feel like it's going to bite you in the behind later. And as we are seeing now, it is coming to want to hunt down this man's legacy and try to destroy it. Hopefully, it doesn't succeed. Right? But it doesn't mean that somebody is making a strategic mistake. Somebody makes a tactical mistake or somebody's view on something is wrong does not mean that they are nefarious. And it's unfortunate that in this internet landscape, we do it most of the time. That is why I said earlier when I started this live stream. That's why I stated earlier in this live stream that even as personally, it took me a while to come to terms or to convince myself that Candace Owens is really, like, what is really going on with this woman? Is it really nefarious? Is she really being malicious or is she just crazy? Do you understand? Like, because it is better to believe that she's just crazy, she's just nuts, than to say she is very malicious and she's doing this with evil intent. Maybe she's just a crazy person. Maybe there's just something wrong with her other than her being morally bankrupt. More like maybe she's losing it. Maybe she's going through something. Who knows? That's why it is best. And I think it is best. And I think maybe this is an advice every one of us need to take. I think it is best to attack people's arguments and demonstrate just how false it is. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a good example of that. I'm very sure that you can go through this live stream and see instances where I did not do that. I'm not perfect. I'm not as excellent as just attacking people's point as Charlie Kirk is and just leave ad hominem and every other thing and, leave trying to decipher their intention and just go after the argument head on and just focus on the arguments they are making. I attack people's argument and just slide in a little insult because I'm like, for you to stress me to have to answer this nonsense, you have to pay by me insulting you a little bit, But, but at the end of the day, I think even if we want to insult people, even if we want to call them names, even if we want to accuse them of whatever we want to accuse them, let us respond to the claims they are making. Let us actually respond to the claims they are making or to the things that they do and point out just how wrong it is. I think it's first to even lead with just how wrong it is before going to, oh, this person is nefarious. Oh, this person is pro-Hamas. Oh, this person is... It's like you're not answering the question that is being raised. You're not answering the argument that is being raised. Instead, you are kind of making an emotional argument. You're trying to corner people to say, okay, you must stand on this. Anything other than this is you supporting Hamas or in a way will lead support to Hamas, which just answer the even if you want to make all that claim, in the midst of it all, point out just how the person is wrong. And sometimes it's best to hesitate to accuse people of being, malicious. And I think, to be honest, there are some people on the pro-Israel side that just swiftly accuse people of being malicious just for saying something that is slightly contrary to the standard Israel narrative or for being critical or asking certain questions. And when you do that, you make it that it's as if there is no valid criticism that can be levied against Israel. Israel can do no wrong. It's kind of how you present it, which is not good, which is not how you're supposed to lead the conversation. And it will not be helpful. This is why, as an advocate for Israel, Charlie Kirk was more effective. Because though he was a staunch supporter, he also was critical. He also was asking questions. He also was wondering. I remember I was watching his interview with Patrick Bet-David, which, by the way, happened not too long after October 7th. Some people make it look like some people have floated that interview on the internet as if it happened 2 days ago. But this is something that happened way back after. And he was questioning, why was there a delayed response after the Hamas attack? Why was the Hamas attack allowed to happen? How was it possible that this could happen? Was there a what was the order he was talking about? Was it a keep forgetting certain words? Kind of, was there an order for the army to stand down and not respond immediately? What was going on? How did Israel not see this coming? And these are fair questions to ask. If you shut down these questions by saying, and this is the truth, I think it was one of my Israeli friends that I asked this question. I was like, but why did it happen? What happened? I think she told me it was kind of like a failure of intelligence. Intelligence was not that, even though Israel has the best intelligence, does not mean that sometimes there can be lapses in that intelligence and people do not make the right decision based on the intelligence that they have. You have to make a call at the end of the day, and sometimes people don't make the right call. Those kind of explanation was given. And I watched an interview that Benjamin Netanyahu made, the one he made with trigonometry, and the questions that they asked him, to the effect of, okay, how was this allowed to happen? Kind of question. Why was this allowed to happen? And he said, an investigation is going to be made and we're going to get to the bottom of that. Why did this happen? Who is responsible? Who made the lapse in judgment? How could this take place? That needs to be investigated. That is a fair question. That is something that someone needs to press to understand what actually went on. Do you understand? It doesn't mean that anybody who asks that question is suddenly, and this is how, and when people who are pro-Israel make that claim that anybody who asks that kind of question is suddenly pro-Hamas, you are giving credence, you are giving credibility to the claim that nobody can question Israel. Anyway, so that's kind of like that's why, as I was saying, that's why Charlie Kirk was very effective, because he could still ask these questions why he's a staunch supporter of Israel. He could still ask these questions why he was a staunch supporter of Israel. He could still consider certain possibilities of, okay, what if Israel is trying to do this? Why he's still a staunch supporter of Israel. He could still entertain contrary opinion, contrary positions, even have Dave Smith on his conference, have Tucker Carlson. Maybe that's why he was effective. He could still have Tucker Carlson on his event while I think that makes him more of a credible or trustworthy supporter of Israel. That is what made him effective. That everybody could talk to him and he could still listen to everyone while still maintaining his position. It means that it shows that he was not blindly supporting Israel. And sometimes people on the pro-Israel side, you see it on the internet, I'm not going to deny it. People on the pro-Israel side sometimes get agitated or feel this kind of paranoia when it has to do with that. Like, they are like, oh, why are you doing, kind of, why are you opposed? What is your problem, sort of thing. And I'm like, no, it's not. Everybody must not toe that line. And he's right for saying these people should calm down.
Exactly. Right?
Mhm.
I'm an American, okay? Like, I represent this country, and I don't even understand that paradigm. But Megan, I think you would agree with this. I want to make sure we really zero in on this. Personality types like you, myself, and Tucker, the more that you guys privately and publicly call our character into question, which is not isolated, right? Megan, it would be one thing if
That's
it was
right.
one text or two texts. It is dozens of texts.
Yes.
Then we start to say, hold the boat here. And to be fair, some of my really good Jewish friends are like, that's not all of us, it's all, but these are leaders too, though, right? These are stakeholders, right? And so, look, I'm afraid because, again, I want civilization to win. I want the West to win. I don't want the Islamo-fascist barbarians to storm the gates of Jerusalem. I want the holy sites protected. I believe in the Holy Land. I love that Jesus walked on water there and rose from the dead and preached in the Mount of Beatitudes. Like, I feel the connection to Israel. But at the same time, simultaneously, when the hostile reaction is that now Megan and Charlie are enemies,
Right.
boy, I'll tell you, like, you're not gonna, I won't say lose, but you will weaken and just basically deflate two of your strongest advocates if that continues.
Right. And to me, I laugh because it's like, I've been.
So that's kind of, let me not go further on this, but as I was watching this when I was preparing for this show, something came to my mind. As I was watching this when I was preparing for this show, a lot of things like passed through my mind. And I dream of the day. Maybe that day will never come, but who knows? I can always dream. And that day is where America will have equal allies, even in the Middle East and in Africa, that you have equal allies, not allies that heavily depend on you, so that we will not have to talk like this. We will not have to, you get what I'm saying? I feel in a way Israel is beholden. People always say that, stupid people anyway, always say that Israel is controlling America. Israel is influencing America. Israel, has a small group of people that are controlling the government. AIPAC is controlling the government and all that stuff. And for me, I see it the opposite way and why I see it the opposite way is because I am not an American. I guess that's why I know that is not the case, that Israel is controlling America, because I am not an American. And I don't even live in America. And I know how American foreign policy work in other countries. Okay? It's kind of like a relationship, a contractual relationship where one partner is superior to the other. And somehow you have to play ball with the big partner. You have to placate them. You have to seek their interests. You have to flirt with them. You have to be on their good side. You have to do their bidding. If you know how America controls West African countries, Ghana just agreed to accept Africans that are being deported from America. Ghana just agreed to it, and they did not put up a fight. There was no second conversation. There was no third conversation. The US said, take these people, and Ghana said, how many are you bringing? Bring them all. That is how the relationship is. I know Americans often think that, no, that's how the relationship is. That's why Israel tries to placate, tries to appeal, tries to do everything, because that is how the relationship is. And why it is like that is because you don't have equal partners. There is somebody who is bigger, there's somebody who is smaller. And it's somebody, I will not believe it. I will need I will need serious, strong evidence to believe in the slightest that Israel is controlling the United States, because I know it is not how foreign policy works for the United States. It has never been like that. Even when you hear that your government is giving our leaders money, it is because they are buying and bribing our leaders. That is what this is about. It's all about control. And the US always have the upper hand in this relationship. They always have the upper hand. They will not be in any of this if they are not gaining something, or if someone in the US is not gaining something, or if some groups in the US are not gaining something, the US will not be doing it. And that is why we are having this kind of conversation. That is why we have this kind of conversation. That is why people are always going to feel this kind of paranoia when they see someone who they love, who is pro-Israel, suddenly start talking like he's not, and people get paranoid. Because if your country is strong and can really defend itself and really does not need the United States, it will not have to go through this lens to try to appeal to your people and to your government. They will not go this far. People always talk about how politicians go to Israel and then they wear the yarmulke and then they pray on the wall and stuff like that. American leaders come to Africa and they dress like Africans. They wear African regalia. When the prince was it Ghana? He dressed like a Ghanaian. Does that mean that Europe and Buckingham Palace is being controlled by what's the Ghanaian president right now? Is that what it means? That is the thing that really frustrates me. You see something, you see an American leader do something that they do in other countries, in Israel, and people are like, why is he doing that in Israel? Isn't this proof that and I'm like, don't you understand that Israel is in this precarious position in the world, surrounded by enemies, and needs your support, and will not be able to survive for the most part, will not survive long for the most part, if everyone turns on them? And they need strong allies. They do. And they are not a useless ally. Like, I know so many African countries that are useless allies, and that's not Israel. They're very useful ally, yet every time they have to prove their worth. They have to. My empathy for Israel is just how everyone is against them. It's kind of that thing where you are like, these people do not deserve this. These people do not deserve this. They shouldn't be in this situation. No country should be in this situation where their existence, they have to prove that they deserve to exist to everybody. Even countries that are colonial creations like Nigeria don't have to constantly prove to anybody that they have the right to exist. Despite the fact that there are many factions in this country that want to see this country split within the country. But yet, I've never seen any country that have to constantly prove that, see, we should exist. Help us continue to exist. It's so unfortunate. It's just so unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Here's another video that people bring up to make the case that, you know, that Charlie was stunning, apparently. You know.
Realize that Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet. Lies.
So this is what he said about Jeffrey Epstein, and some people have used this as, oh, you see, he was beginning to, his eyes was beginning to open. You see, he was beginning to question the narrative. Of course, they will not tell you when this was said. I think this was said earlier this year. That's kind of in January, February. That's when this was said. Of course, when the whole Epstein debacle was happening. Now, of course, they will not point out all these people. Of course, this is how they behave. They don't mention the part where he said this Epstein could be Israeli intelligence. He could be US intelligence. He could be Saudi intelligence. He could be that guy that you meet for any kind of intelligence. This is somebody, that's one thing I like about the more I listen to him, the more I realize this person is really, this Charlie was really level-headed, considering all the possibilities and not just spouting conspiracy theories like Candace Owens. He's like, what if he's this? What if he was, working for US intelligence? Which is something that, the likes of Tucker Carlson and the likes of Candace Owens will not even consider. It is Israel, of course. What if it is the case that it wasn't Israel? What if it was the US? What if it was British intelligence? What if he was working for the Saudis? What if he was working for Qatar? Nobody knows who he was working for. Okay. But according to Charlie, he suspects, or he has good reason to believe that this person was working for intelligence. He was gathering intelligence. He was doing intelligence gathering work. He was working for an intelligence organization, or he's that guy that they hire whenever they need something. He doesn't know who has used him, or who is using him, or who was using him before he was, caught and all whatnot. But it's or from all indication, there's a likelihood that he was, because of the amount of cameras. Of course, this is not my opinion. I'm just trying to make people understand what Charlie's opinion was. I have no opinion regarding Jeffrey Epstein. It's not something that I think about. But for so many people, this is proof that, Charlie was beginning to see the light. Charlie was beginning to turn on Israel. And all he needed was 30 more minutes. And he was going to be the most anti-Israel voice on the right. This is another one that they bring up. I played this one. I think I played this one. Was it yesterday? No, not yesterday. I didn't do any live stream yesterday. The first live stream or the second live stream I did, I think I played this one.
Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true, the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Kopperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the, so that's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country.
So this is, for many people, this is proof that, that he was turning. Now, they will not tell you, of course, when this was. This was from earlier this year. And of course, or last year was it? I'm not sure. But the point of this clip is, of course, and everything he said here, here's the funny thing, everything he said here, I agree with 100%. Everything he said is true. Okay? For long in America, like I said, when I played this in the live stream that I played it in, I mentioned that everything he said is true. And even Jewish people will agree that it is true. They'll be honest, which they are sometimes. That, yes, many secular Jews have promoted woke ideology, cultural Marxist ideology, like he called it, or woke ideology, like, shorthand. Many Jews, they sponsored universities, they sponsored organizations, they sponsored NGOs, they've donated to campaigns of politicians who support it. And this ideology have led to, anti-whiteness, pro-immigration, LGBTQ, you name it, race-related stuff. There are many Jewish donors that have donated to it, just like there are many white people who have donated to it, just like we have predominant black people in support of it. Like this is an indictment of the most demographic. The truth is, this is an indictment of most demographic in the West. There is no demographic of people in the West that you will not find a significant number of them in support of leftist ideology. Some more than others, okay? Some more than others. But there is this, like I said, is an indictment on every demographic in the West. Among black people that are the most anti-LGBTQIA plus group in the West, will still support politicians that are pro-LGBTQ, pro-trans, and whatever. You still have majority of them still voting for Democrats. You find them among the Hispanics. You find them among the whites. And you find them even among Jewish people, especially, in fact, you find them predominantly among black people and predominantly among Jewish people, and predominantly among most demographic in America that are the minority, because somehow Democrats have mastered the ability to appeal to the minority. And most of the minorities, many of them, let us be honest, many of them support leftist ideology. Why we talk about, the Latino voters are, Trump had a huge support. Most of Latinos still support Democrats. We say Trump got most of the black votes. There was an increase in black voters, not most of the black votes, but there was an increase in black voters for Trump. Yes, but most of the black voters still voted for Democrats. Yes, most of the Jewish voters this period voted for Trump. If you check, I don't know, but probably they did. But historically, they voted for Democrats. The Democrats have had the black vote the same way they've had the Jewish vote in America. And that is the truth. It doesn't mean that Jews have a nefarious intention to destroy America. It just is what it is. That's the fact. It's only nefarious bad actors that give it an interpretation and use it to support their conspiracy theories. Somehow, the fact that most black people support Democrats does not mean that black people have a nefarious intention of destroying America, but that Jews predominantly support Democrats is proof that you know how the conspiracy theories work. You understand? And Charlie Kirk is not on that side. He's just saying, I hope with what is happening right now, many of you Jewish people will come to the realization that you have no allies in the West. I mean, in the left. You have no allies in the left, on the left rather. You have no allies on the left. These people are as anti-Semitic as they accuse others of being. They are against you as they claim that the right is against you. In fact, more than they claim that the right is against you. That's kind of what he's saying. Because, of course, anyone who doesn't know anything about prior to now, even I myself prior to now used to think that people on the right are just hateful people. Before I became really more interested in American politics and realizing that it was not really like that. You understand? So, people kind of get that idea. Oh, people on the right are the hateful people. And just go with that idea. So if you are a minority and you are afraid of being hated, you kind of just feel like it's an automatic thing. You just vote Democrat and they have your back. But over time, the realization is coming out that no, people on the left are very, very anti-Semitic. And Charlie, I hope you are realizing that the same reason why they are anti-Semitic is the same reason why they support every other thing that you have been voting for. Sadly, the same thing that exists on the left actually also exists on the right. Anyways, I've been speaking for a very long time. This is almost 2 hours, but I'm not bringing the live stream is not coming to an end. I just want to help you guys remember that you can always smash that like button, destroy it, dismantle it. Just keep tapping the like button and also comment. I want to see the comments just popping up and popping up. I want to hear what you think. I'm going to react to them now. I want to hear what you think. Please keep chatting. Please keep liking. Please keep commenting. Share this if you haven't, and just smash that like button constantly, continuously. Continue to smash the like button. Just hit it till your thumb hurts. Okay. And again, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Let me tell you guys a secret. Whenever I do live streams like this live streams kind of reduce my, I don't know why, but my subscribers kind of reduce, it kind of dips whenever I do a live stream, which is why at one point I stopped, but I had to do it again. But people who subscribe to my channel just go, if my subscribers are going like this, whenever I do a live stream, we just start going like this. So please, if you want to encourage me to keep doing this live stream, please, if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe and just smash that like button. Just keep smashing it and smashing it and smashing it until you destroy it. And then in fact, until YouTube say you can no longer do this, just keep smashing the like button. And also let me know what you think. Post your comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know that I'm still talking to people. This is the only way I know that people are listening to me, is that, they are commenting. And also, like John has mentioned in the comment repeatedly, support me by going to buymeacoffee.com/NIG perspective. You can see the website there. Just go over there and buy me a coffee. Okay, Mossad, like I said earlier, is not sponsoring us. You can be my Mossad. Become my Mossad today. Be Frank's Mossad today by heading over to buymeacoffee.com /NIG perspective and buy me a coffee. I like I don't even know coffees. I drink tea. Or buy me a coffee regardless. Anyways, what else? So yeah, please. Now we are going to get to the accusation that which accusation do I need to address now? Okay, let's talk about the one about Charlie Kirk is now a Catholic. He's praying the rosary. This is the one that I find very hard to believe. In fact, I believe it is BS. I think it is made up. I think Candace was lying. This one about, he was praying the rosary, he was attending mass. Perhaps he attended mass. I don't doubt that. He has in-laws that are Catholics, so maybe when he goes to see them, he does attend mass. Maybe he goes on mass with them for some reasons. I don't. When I was in the university as a Protestant, I attended mass, Catholic mass, a couple of times. When my grandfather died, when he passed, and went for his funeral, we attended mass. So I have been to the Catholic Church a couple of times, even as a Protestant, and I have nothing against Catholics. I really don't. Okay, I believe that they are also my brothers and sisters in Christ, even though I don't agree with so many of the things that they hold to be true. But that's by the way. So the claim that Charlie was, becoming a Catholic, and if he became a Catholic, he was no longer going to consider himself Judo-Christian or Judo-Christian, whatever phrase Candace Owens used. First of all, what in Catholicism or what in being a Catholic makes you not think the heritage of your tradition is Judo-Christian? What in being a Catholic will suggest that? I mean, the Second Vatican Council, if I'm mistaken, someone should point it out in the comments. But Vatican II was very inclusive. It was a very inclusive, whatever it was, very inclusive, even inclusive of Muslims. Still call them people that are also, worshiping the one true God. Which became like a major controversy at the time. Not at the time, but it became a major controversy recently, where we had so many Catholic apologists trying to defend Vatican II and trying to explain how it doesn't really mean what it actually means. But that's by the way. But my issue is, what in being a Catholic will make you very exclusive of Jews, when the Second Vatican Council and what the decision, the document, is kind of inclusive and very broad and very accepting, if you ask me. So what in being a Catholic kind of make you not say this is a Judo-Christian tradition? What in being a Catholic kind of exempts you from that? That is my first observation. The second is, from Charlie's own words, I doubt that he was becoming Catholic. From Charlie's own words, I doubt that. Let me give you an example.
Your portfolio is over $250,000 and you aren't hedged. You are sitting on a ticking time bomb. Markets are at all-time highs, but history shows, you know what comes next: volatility and increased risk. A 10% allocation to gold and silver can help hedge uncertainty and protect your wealth. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy.
Why am I listening to this?
Members.charliekirk.com. Thank you so much. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, hello, Charlie. Good to talk to you. I watched your video with Michael Knowles debate.
Okay, let's just keep to the part where he answers the question
of Catholicism. And I mean, I love Catholics. As people know, I'm very close to even my local Catholic priest, Father Klein, great guy. My wife was baptized Catholic, but I have some big disagreements with Catholicism. And the first of which would be Mariology. But let me first say, I think we as Protestant evangelicals under-venerate Mary. She was very important. She was a vessel for our Lord and Savior. I think that we as evangelicals and Protestants, we've overcorrected. We don't talk about Mary enough. We don't venerate her enough. Mary was clearly important to early Christians. There's something there. In fact, I believe one of the ways that we fix toxic feminism in America is Mary is the solution. Have more young ladies be pious, be reverent, to be full of faith, slow to anger, slow to words at times. Mary is a phenomenal example, and I think a counter to so much of the toxicity of feminism in the modern era. However, I would say Catholicism goes way too far. Catholicism believes two things as dogma, and most Catholics, if you ask them this, some don't even know. Number one, do you believe that Mary was sinless? The Catholic Church does. There is no biblical basis for this, the only of which would be that Mary was full of grace in the Annunciation of Mary in Luke 1. That is a big stretch. By the way, that was not even added into official Catholic dogma till the mid-1800s. The second of which which is called the Immaculate Conception. There's a second form of Catholic dogma that believes that Mary was assumed into heaven, that her physical body was actually the Assumption of Mary, was assumed into heaven. Again, that is a pure faith claim. It is not biblically supported at all whatsoever. So I think that we as evangelicals can do a better job of remembering, studying, talking about, and pointing towards Mary, because
I mean, somebody who is talking like this, you can clearly see that he's coming from the perspective of sola scriptura. You can already see, like, he's saying there is no biblical evidence for this. There's no biblical evidence for this. But Catholics believe it is a faith claim. There's no biblical evidence for it. You can clearly see that this is somebody who is coming from the perspective of sola scriptura, and how drenched he is in sola scriptura. You can see it just coming out. And this is the person that they want us to believe. And this is, by the way, this is on July 28th. I want to show you here so that you not just take it from me. No, not July 28th. This is July 23rd. This is how many months ago? August, July. This is like few months ago. This is like 2 months ago. He was saying this. And this is the person who was almost about to start. This was somebody who was definitely praying the rosary. Do you believe, guys? Do you believe that somebody who is going to say this about Mary, somebody who is going to say that Mary was not sinless? This is one. Mary was not sinless, and Mary's body was not assumed into heaven. Her physical body was not assumed into heaven. Do you believe that somebody who believes these two things would pray the rosary? Do you guys really believe that? Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Do you really believe that this person? Now, I have no issue with Charlie being a Catholic. I'm pointing this out just to demonstrate that there is every likelihood that Candace was lying.
Was a vessel chosen by God Almighty that brought our Lord into this world. But I find biblical evidence to the opposite. I find biblical evidence to show that Mary was sinful like all the rest of us. In fact, I see biblical evidence that.
Don't worry. What is your name? God-seeking atheist. Keep guessing. If you guess, this is your second guess. Try. Maybe when you get to the 10th guess, you are going to understand who Frank is. Maybe just keep guessing. Just keep guessing. Maybe I would appreciate that you listen. Maybe when you listen, you understand who I am, but you can keep guessing in the comments. It helps with the algorithm. Just keep putting out your guesses. Okay? Don't stop, don't stop. I dare you not to stop.
It says very clear, I think, in the book of Romans that no one is sinless except Christ Jesus. The other one is more of a technical theological debate, which again, Catholics have a very firm belief on this, that Mary was not the mother of Jesus's half-brothers. It's just not supported by scripture. However, you could say that it was Joseph's other kids from another marriage. That is just a faith claim. That would be, of course, James and Jude, the two half-brothers of Jesus. This is not a major issue for me between me getting along with Catholics, me loving Catholics, me thinking that Catholics are doing a great job for the planet or for the world. But I personally would not be able to enter into a faith that believes that anybody except Jesus Christ our Lord was without sin. And that's my final comment on Mariology. Happy to debate it with others if that ever surfaces. So,
did you hear that? Does that come across to you as somebody who was praying the rosary? And this was from July 23rd. All right, here's another one. You may not find this important, but I find it important, and I think this was when he was with what's his name? He was with Tucker Carlson.
Men are going back to church.
This was when he was with Tucker Carlson, and this is what he had to say. Let me back it up a little bit.
He had God. What he was saying is that it's not good for man to be without a woman.
Of course.
And so it's not enough for man just to have God. I mean, some people don't like this teaching, but it's true. Adam had God. He had a relationship with God. Man, if you look at almost every third world country where men don't feel that they are able to have economic prosperity or any romantic future, you get either revolution, gang violence, or complete disconnect.
Or suicide.
Or suicide, which is what we have, right? So it's
Yeah.
the most suicidal generation in history. Now, I don't want to paint like a totally negative picture, because there is one really good trend, and it's not because of baby boomers, and it's not because of our leaders. It's that young,
I guess that.
well, no, it's young men are going back to church. That
Yeah,
is legit. That's
course.
happening because honestly, it's the only thing that they can find. It's a life raft in this just tsunami of chaos
Totally
and
agree.
disorder. So I get asked all the time, well, why are they going to the Catholic Church? Why are they going to Orthodox Church more than the Evangelical Church? And I'm Evangelical. I'll say,
You hear what he said? He said, "I'm an evangelical." I'm bringing this up because I want people to understand. This is what. Are you going to take what the man said himself, or are you going to take what someone else who claimed to be his best friend said about him? And these are not comments from 5 years ago. These are comments like this is from the first one. What was from July 23rd? This is from July 21st. This was what he was saying as far back as July. This is how he described himself when he was on Tucker Carlson. He called himself an evangelical. Here's another example. And
I'm
this
going
is
to debate
interview.
RKI in a
Let's
second.
do it, man.
sorry. This is his interview with this pastor on YouTube that goes by Frank Turek. He's my namesake. And this is the conversation that took place a month ago. This is August 13. This is a month ago. This happened last month. Okay? And this is the conversation that we are having. And keep in mind, this pastor was also with him when he got shot. This was the pastor that people were accusing as somebody who was giving the hand and neck signal, whatever, which turned out to be false. They were just making up. People were just, anyways, that's by the way. But this is the pastor that was with him when he got shot. And this is a pastor that has collaborated with him. They've collaborated. They've, worked together. And listen to how he introduced the pastor. I think it's important how he introduced the pastor. And tell me if this person looked like somebody who was becoming Catholic.
Frank is one of my mentors and friends and teachers, and we've been studying together
Oh, yeah.
here in Phoenix.
Did you hear that? He said, we've been studying together. He's my friend, my mentor, and we've been studying together. Keep that in mind. This is how he introduced him. We've been
Kind of our
studying
off
together.
season, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's a little different than an NFL player. I have 2 off seasons a year. So my
Now, here's another. Here's do I have any other? So these are all my. I think that's all the clip I have to show. That's all the clip I have to show, just to demonstrate that this person does not sound like someone who was changing his religion or whatsoever. Okay, one more thing that I think needs to be stated is that people don't know that Charlie had a pastor. He had a pastor, not a priest. He had a pastor. And in fact, his pastor put out a statement regarding what Candace Owens have been saying. And this is the pastor's statement. He said, Charlie Kirk was my friend, and I was his pastor. I want to simply say this regarding Candace Owens. Charlie Kirk was a friend to Candace and never publicly spoke poorly of her, though he disagreed with her. He never operated nor entertained gossip or innuendo concerning Candace. My only comment I offer regarding Candace is this. I only wish at this tragic time of mourning, he would be the friend to Charlie that he was to her. He would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. All friend loves at all time. This man his English is poor. Or the way he typed it is poor. See me criticizing someone else's writing. Whenever, especially when it's difficult for me to read, and when the person did not use the right punctuation. But let me try again to read this very well. Charlie Kirk was my friend, and I was his pastor. I want to simply say this regarding Candace Owens. Charlie Kirk was a friend to Candace and never publicly spoke poorly of her, though he disagreed with her. He never operated nor entertained gossip or innuendo concerning Candace. The only comment I offer regarding Candace is this. I only wish at this tragic time of mourning that she would be the friend to Charlie that he was to her. Because he would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. All friend loves at all times. No, a friend loves at all times. Why am I saying all friends there? A friend loves at all times. Proverbs 17:17. Now, this is from Charlie's pastor. And this is his message to Candace Owens. Stop using this as an opportunity. Stop treating your friend like this. Stop treating his memory like this. Stop using it like this. That's essentially what his message to Candace was. And this was recent. This was as recent as today. This is recent. This is as recent as today. Now, I want to see what Charlie had to say about Hamas. This is the person that they want us to believe was turning against Israel, was being, anti-Israel, was nothing like a supporter of Israel in any way, shape, or form. And this is what he had to say about Hamas.
So, it's funny. I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't.
When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
Yeah, this is the person that was about to turn. This is the person that was about to turn. This is the person that was about to turn. Let's hear it again. I just want this to play again. So,
it's funny. I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't.
When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
I like that.
Where was I? It's.
And this is the person who was, of course, this is the person who was about to turn. This is the guy who was about to turn. This was the person who was about to turn. This was the guy who, was about to become like Candace Owens. Here's one of his tweets. He said, "People ask me all the time where I get my ideas and arguments from." And these are people he read. He said, "I read Jordan B. Peterson. I watch Ben Shapiro. I listen to Dennis Prager. Those three are by far the most effective, wise, intelligent, and impactful thinkers of our time." Keep that in mind. This is the person that they said, he's about to turn. Give him 2 seconds now. He was about to, was about to turn.
Thank you so much.
And this is what he had to say about. This is what he had to say about the Nick Fuentes of the world. This is the guy, of course, was, keep in mind, this is the person who they're saying was about to, like 5 seconds from now, he's going to start, speaking against you.
Thank you so much for being a member. What's on your mind?
Hi, Charlie. As a TPUSA chapter founder and president, I've seen firsthand how the tide is turning among young conservatives. I say, if you truly believe in open debate in the marketplace of ideas, will you ever be willing to debate Nick Fuentes, or will you wait until his movement forces you to adopt his talking points, as we've seen already?
You know, it's funny. I personally do not give a platform to bad faith actors. And I had a whole open about this. And by the way, a really important thing is not to lie and to not bear false testimony. It's fine. I'll answer your question. You said, oh, I want to have a question about turning point events. And you obviously lied about your question. Doesn't surprise me because you have deceit. But you know what? Honestly, I'm asked that question all the time. I don't platform trolls, and I don't platform and I don't discuss people, or I don't debate with people that are not good faith actors. And
You debate Maoists and people who champion.
They can keep on yelling at how successful we are and our big events and well over 1,000 employees, but there's a lot of jealousy out there. We build.
Here is God-seeking atheist. I guess he has finally discovered who I am. Okay. He said, I think he's replying to John. He said, the fact Israel tried to pay him off with big money, and you give him a re-education through Israel to stop his anti-Israel sentiment, he spoke just weeks before his murder. Which anti-Israel sentiment did he speak about just weeks before his murder? I don't know I think you just joined this live stream recently. Maybe you should go back and watch some of the things we've discussed and, keep yourself up to speed. God-seeking atheist. First of all, there is no source. The so-called source that they said is the source of this information is unnamed. Who is the person? God-seeking atheist, tell us, who is the person who said? Who exactly is the person who, that close source, the insider information? Give me the name of the person, the insider, who said that. Go to that article where you read it. I'm very sure it's in the Gray Zone publication. Go there and find the name of the person who said that thing. You will not find it. You are saying he was giving more money for re-education tour. Every person who was in the meeting, we have gone through all their statements, and they have all vehemently showed that they did not witness any of the things Candace Owens have alleged, or what have been alleged in the Gray Zone report. But of course, you care about drama. You care about gossip. That is what is more interesting to you. Facts are too boring for you. You understand? They are too boring. What is better when somebody dies? What is better for you and what you are interested in is rumors. And that is for people like you is why Candace Owens exists. She's basically existing because of you. And I encourage you to keep her going to help. Who exactly said these things? You are going to parrot it. Who exactly said it? If I were you, if I had a little bit of good sense, I will wait for Candace Owens to tell me who exactly said it. Than to state as fact. See how you stated it as fact. The fact Israel tried. What fact? Based on what? What fact? Based on what exactly? God-seeking atheists. Based on what? You have been here trying to guess who I am, and now you are finally based on multiple sources. Can you imagine? No, sir. There are multiple sources. This is coming from JD. Oh, my goodness. Please send me the article. Send me wherever it is where JD Vance said this. Give me that article where JD Vance said he was being sent money. Give me that article. Yes, I know who JD Vance is, the vice president. I know who he is. Give me the article. Show me the link where JD Vance said that. You can bring another name. JD Vance said that. My goodness. I'm waiting. Where is please let us know when did JD Vance say it? I'm giving you time. Give us time to provide us with the evidence that JD Vance actually said that. God. This is him saying JD Vance, the vice president, said that. Please, provide me with it. Provide me with it. In fact, your ability to continue watching this is dependent on that, because I'm going to tell the moderators, if after 10 minutes you did not provide us with that, that is you can go back to watching Candace Owens. Please, just, if you're going to come here, you're going to lie, we are going to give you opportunity to provide, proof of the lie that you just spouted on, and you don't provide anyone, we'll see you out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. All right. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'll help you. God-seeking atheist, I'll help you. I help people. I'm very helpful. This coconut cutting Nigerian will help you. Don't worry. Do I know how to cut coconut? Not so much, but I know how to crack it. I don't cut it. Over here, we crack it open. But whatever, I will help you. You understand? We also eat bananas. We go like monkeys. You understand? I will help you. Don't worry. I will help you. This is your proof, and I'm about to play it. And as we are watching this, I want you to just pay attention and tell me at what point JD Vance said what you said, what you claim that he said. Let's listen to it.
That was the question. If you were good faith, you're on his team.
That is exactly right. And good faith is the measure. And I have to say, I think now is exactly the wrong time to appropriate the memory of someone and the emotion that comes with that, the really intense emotion that all of us feel at his murder, and use it for your own parochial ends. Like, he stood for this, and I think the reason that Charlie was able to bridge the gap, particularly in foreign policy, is because he had, for example, genuine affection for Israel, which he expressed to me in private many, many times. Like, I love Israel. I don't think we should have another forever war, regime change war against Iran. And I think that made complete sense to me. I sort of agree with that, actually. And so it allowed both sides to talk to him because they felt like, this person doesn't hate me. It doesn't need to get existential. It's not about disliking me or some weird bigotry. But I don't think it's helpful for people to jump in, particularly foreign heads of state, to say, this is what, he lived for my cause or whatever. That's disgusting, actually. Don't do that. That turns everybody off. You don't help your own cause by doing that. And it's also literally untrue. So I just hope that we can continue in, I'm not exaggerating, the spirit that he operated in, which is one of love for other people, including people we disagree with, and don't make it, as small bore as that. That doesn't help.
Yeah. So one of the issues, Tucker, and I agree with you, that he would express disagreements with the administration on. There are two that jump out. Is one, Charlie was a hardliner on immigration. He wanted us to control our borders as much as possible. Yes. He wanted us to ramp up the deportations. I remember having conversations with Charlie where he would say, why aren't the deportations higher? Why aren't you doing more? And I would talk to him, but it wasn't, hey, I don't understand this, or I disagree with you, and therefore I'm going to blast you and assume that you're in bad faith. It's, I'm a free citizen. I love you guys. I supported you guys, and I'm going to use my platform to try to accomplish as much good as I possibly can. And I think that made him such an effective operator. And I would talk to Charlie. I'd say, Charlie, well, look, here are the reasons why. And as you've seen, Tucker, we've ramped up deportation numbers. We have actually, there are a lot of people who are self-deporting because they don't want to be in the country knowing that eventually immigration enforcement will happen. But I think part of that success comes from people like Charlie applying pressure. Pressure as a friend, pressure as somebody who cares deeply about the issue. And that's true also, I know we have about 90 seconds left, but that's true about foreign policy. Like, I remember Charlie calling me and saying, I'm really worried. And this is back in the summer when the Iran strikes were sort of first being contemplated. He said, I'm really worried this is going to become another regime change war in the Middle East that we get trapped in. And I said, Charlie, first of all, have some faith here. The President of the United States is not a believer in perpetual war. He knows the mistakes of Iraq and Afghanistan. He doesn't want to repeat them. But Charlie was very clear that he could support Israel. And by the way, he did eventually support the strikes on the nuclear facility while simultaneously saying, no more. This can't become a bigger thing. This can't become a broader thing. And again, I think he modeled a really good way of applying pressure, of disagreeing when you do disagree, but also recognizing that so long as you're operating in good faith, We're all part of the team. And that's something I'm going to try to take from Charlie's legacy is not that we're always right, not that we can't take criticism, but that we all should try to work together.
It did worry me because I think your description is perfect. He was one of the very few who took that message and stood by it. I mean, right to the very end. This cannot get bigger. We don't want another regime change war. But man, some of the people who send money to Turning Point, his donors, were very tough on him. So tough on him that I could feel it. You know, I talked to him a lot in the last few months, and he was under enormous pressure. He never bent. He never became bitter.
He kept his integrity to the very end.
To the very end. And I just think it's important to say that because it's true.
Absolutely.
All right. Now that we finished watching it, at what point did JD Vance say anything about people giving? I hope you are still God-seeking atheist. I hope you are still. Jesus Christ. You know what? Fine. But your lack of information is not the only thing you should apologize for. You called me coconut cutter. You said I don't know anything about US politics. You said all those things. Remember you were running your fingers. Remember all the things you were saying. Now we've watched the clip. This is it. Towards the end when he was talking about Charlie Kirk with Tucker Carlson. The person who made it about Israel, the person who kind of insinuated it, even though he did not mention it, was Tucker. Tucker was the one who was talking about people putting pressure. Some of his donors were putting pressure on him. Tucker did not even say anything about people giving him money to change his mind. He was saying people were pressuring him. Some of his donors were pressuring him, and that he could feel it. And you know how Tucker talks. Anytime he says things like this, a wise person should take it with a spoon of salt. But of course, I don't know what I'm talking about. I am the one God-seeking atheist. I'm the one who doesn't know anything. I'm the Nigerian who knows nothing about American politics. And I should shut up and focus on cutting coconut. That was what you said. Not that your lack of information on current events is the list of your crimes. Oh, I will not. Please, John, don't kick him out. Don't kick him. Just leave him. Let him continue watch. I think he will see himself out, but there's no need to kick him out. So he can watch it another time. He can watch me another time when YouTube recommends me to him. Yeah. Anyways. It's been a wonderful live stream, guy. Dude, you're not helping your case. You're not helping. You're not helping your case. JD Vance just spoke on the calls he had with Charlie over his aversion to further military action in Israel. Yes, he spoke about that. And he said, if you were paying attention, he said he was worried that this was going to be about a regime change war in Iran. That he later came around to supporting the strike on the nuclear facilities in Iran. He later came around to support that. That is what the vice president just said. Or you did not hear it? Or should I play it again for you to hear? This was not about some people pressuring him and offering him money. That's what you said. Or should we go back and bring it up? Or you said that JD Vance confirmed or said that people were pressuring him, giving him money, telling him to come to Israel. He did not say any of that. You said that. And the young man is still talking. You know, at least in Nigeria, when you say something stupid at one point, you know you have to respect yourself and keep quiet. But the guy is just going. The guy is just going. This is why you are a true Candace Owens fan. You understand? You just going. He just keeps going. The call he just quoted, milk drink it will milk drink. It's called drink milk. Is English your fifth language? Oh God. Anyways, that's by the way. I want to end with the guy is on fire. The guy is just on fire. Anyways, while we have that up there, so that the world can see the level of ridiculousness that exists in the world, let us listen to a message by Charlie Kirk's pastor.
Shot him in the neck. And for all of you conspiracy people who think that people were giving signals, you know who that man was? His name's Frank Turek. He's an apologist for the Christian faith. When I got to the hospital, there was Frank in hospital scrubs because his clothes were covered in blood because he was giving him CPR all the way to the hospital. Just get off the stupid internet and stop with it. And he wasn't assassinated by Israel. Enough is enough. We're mourning. I lost my friend. I was over in Korea, and he wasn't assassinated by Israel. Enough is enough. We're mourning. I lost my friend. I was over in Korea, shot him in the neck.
And I hope many people will heed that warning, but I doubt that some people will. Of course, conspiracy theories are just going to keep spreading conspiracy theories. And all we can do is point it out the best that we can. And thank you, traditional woman. In fact, many people have stated that Charlie tried to distance himself from Candace Owens. If you watch her live stream, many of the things that she posted on there were old messages from Charlie. They were not even recent. Yet she's going to talk as if they spoke every day. And that's, this is my best friend and all whatnot. And it's so funny. You're going to see people who called Charlie a freak that how people insult pro-Israel supporters on pro-Israel like advocates on Twitter. They call them filthy Jew, disgusting Jew. Those same people now are saying that Charlie Kirk was on their side all along and that was why the Jews killed him. Those same people who we are calling Charlie a filthy, disgusting Jew are now turning around. It's so ridiculous. You see it. You see somebody who is like, Charlie Kirk was actually trying to change his mind. And then you go on his thread and you realize, wait, this guy 3 months ago or not just 3 months ago, some of them 2 weeks ago, well, we are calling Charlie Kirk this disgusting Jew, this hateful Jew, this long-nosed Jew. You know how they use Jew as a derogatory terminology, and they were using it against Charlie. Those same people are now saying the thing that they are saying now. If you go through God-seeking atheist internet behavior, you will find the same thing. You will find the same thing. But now those same people are now, oh yeah, Charlie was always against Israel, and that is why they tried to kill him. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that this is the world we live in. And this kind of troll behavior is the thing that people like Candace Owens have tapped into. That's what they feed. That's what they feed. That's what they feed, and that's what is good for them. That is just unfortunate. Anyways, let's let's look at people who became members and who donated. This is from Bill Galactica. He became a member, a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Bill. This is from Mosh Cohen. He said, my friend was just shot, so I'll make it all about me. Yep, that's Candace Owens for you. The Candy never accused Israel. She just accused Israel. At least I have a better pronunciation of Israel than she does. And thank you, BT, for the $1.99 super chat. I really appreciate every one of you. And I have no more to show you. In fact, you know what? I do have something to show you. I do. And where is it? Where is it? Um, Here is it. Here is something that we could have been talking about today. But unfortunately, other things happen. But before I show you that, I want to show you this. And I'm very sure that Candace Owens will have something to say about this on her show. This is the Daily Wire. This is Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, and Michael Knowles. And guess what? They are hosting the Charlie Kirk show.
They need no introduction.
Roll
that would be
tomorrow.
In no particular order from my right to left: Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, and Ben Shapiro. And I want to explain how this even happened. Obviously, we had the Vice President of the United States honor Charlie by guest hosting the show from the White House yesterday. I was just in D.C. yesterday for that, and it was an amazing experience. I've gotten so much great feedback, and of course, we are so honored that JD wanted to take time, from running the country and leading the world to help honor his friend. And of course, they need no introduction.
So I'm very sure that we'll hear from Candace Owens on this. She's not just going to watch people take over her very good friend's organization and try to run it and replace, because that's clearly what they're trying to do there. So tomorrow I expect a miracle. That's all I'm trying to say. Meanwhile, while you are waiting for that miracle, I just want to show something from the Daily Wire that was said. It's not from the Daily Wire, it's just from that show I just showed you. But here is a part of it that I want to highlight. There's a part of it that I want to highlight. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it now? Okay, here is it. And this is from Matt Walsh. And it's important that he said it so that people can hear it and, we can put all these accusations.
In this business, there are some people who can be personalities. In this business, there are some people who can be personalities and can talk in front of the camera, although I think no one did it as well as Charlie. And then there are people who are kind of the organizers behind the scenes. I don't know anyone who was an A-plus talent in both areas. And yet Charlie was, which is why you kind of hear this conversation now, which is inevitable, about, well, who's going to replace Charlie? Who's going to be the new Charlie Kirk? And I am truly sorry to say that the answer is nobody.
Yeah,
there is no new Charlie Kirk. It's just like when Rush Limbaugh died, and there was a conversation about who's the new Rush. There is no new Rush. You only get one Rush in your lifetime. You only get one Charlie Kirk. We're blessed to have Charlie once, and we're not going to have him again. Now, all the rest of us can try to pick up the legacy and live out his legacy and carry it forward, which we will. But we can't be Charlie Kirk. And I think that's why you mentioned the anger. That was just like millions of other people. I'll never forget where I was when I first saw and heard about this. I was sitting in my car. I was about to walk into a coffee shop and just get a cup of coffee, and I got a text from someone saying, "What's going on with Charlie Kirk?" And then I went on Twitter and I'm looking around, and there's all this, at the time it was kind of felt like rumors or something. And I wasn't sure. I was texting Michael and Ben. And then I heard about a shooting, and in the back of my mind, I was concerned, but I wasn't that concerned, because I thought, well, there's no way. What are they can't kill Charlie Kirk. It's just like, it can't happen. That cannot happen. And then, and I'll never forget, just kind of frantically scrolling around, texting, what the hell's going on? and the video of the video just popped up on the screen, and I saw it, and I'll never unsee it. And I just put my phone down, and I was filled with grief, shock, but rage, just overwhelming anger. And I've felt that ever since that moment. It hasn't gone away. In fact, my anger has only intensified. And there's a lot of reasons for it. It was a horrible atrocity, what was done to him. Anger for his family, most of all. Anger for a lot of people, but also anger for the country, because you took someone from us, from all of us. That's why I think there's this outpour, this just incredible outpouring of mourning and grief, is because we all feel it, whether you knew him or not, whether you were friends or not. We all feel that you took something from us. You took someone from us that we needed, and you had no right to do that. Which is why we could talk about the grief and the mourning and all of that, and we should. But we also need to talk about justice. We need justice for Charlie. We need justice for all of us. Justice for his family. You know, we can, which is why I'm not interested in conversations about unity and togetherness and kumbaya, hand-holding and all that. I know some people, it might comfort them to talk that way. But we don't have time for that right now. What we need is justice for this man who was robbed from us. And we need it now.
All right. So there is Matt Walsh talking about, talking about how no one can replace Charlie and where he was when he got the report of Charlie's murder, and how he felt afterwards, and how justice is necessary, So there he was. And of course, it was very moving for me. Just, watching people talk about someone when they pass kind of make me feel really, really like, man. Anyways, some good news, if you see it as such.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had...
This is an update from the investigation into Tyler Robinson.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance
I'm not even showing the video. Here I am. Look at me. I thought I was showing the video. I wasn't even showing the video. Sorry, let me take you back.
Discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle that police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift.
So this is the report from the police. But of course, the left is still going to doubt it. That one is inevitable. They're still going to be like, there's something about this that doesn't add up. Obviously, this guy was a Trump supporter. They're still going to say the same thing. They're not going to, this will not stop them. this this will not stop them. You know, this will not stop them. I mean, they even we even have like the text message exchange between Charlie and his boyfriend, and this is what Robinson said. I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I have hoped to keep this strict secret till I die of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I have planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I've had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle on scene, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they would have moved. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parking right by it. I think they already sweep the spot, but I don't want to change. I don't want to chance it. Robinson later. I'm wishing I have circled back and grab it as soon as I can. As soon as I got to my vehicle, I worry what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in the bush where I can where I changed outfit. They didn't have the ability to or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing message are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bodges, OU, OW or UWO on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Have a stroke. All right, I'm gonna have to leave it. That really effing sucks. This is the exchange between Robinson and the boyfriend. Judging from today, I would say Grandpa's gone doesn't just fine. I don't know. I think that was a 2K scope. Robinson, delete this message. Robinson, my dad wants photo of the rifle. He said Grandpa wants to know who has what. The Fed released a photo of the rifle and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Robinson, you are all I worry about, love. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. And this is what we would have been talking about, but unfortunately we won't today. I just want to put that out there and let you guys know the update on the case. And tomorrow, hopefully, we'll talk about something more interesting. Yes, there will be a live stream tomorrow. Hopefully, God willing. And yep, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are you've been informed. Nah, leave him. I like. Sorry. I hope you guys should. I am bearing with him. I'm seeing his comments and I'm bearing with him. So you guys should also bear with him. Okay. Anyways, yeah, thank you all. Thank you, God seeking atheist, for joining us. And for everyone, thank you, John. Thank you, all my mods, even the ones that are not around. Thank you, Adam's aunt. Thank you, Torren Galanga. Thank you, Bill, Galactica, Mosh Cohen, Amit Yanuka, and BT. Thank you, everyone. Remember, if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe, follow, do everything you need to do. Everything John has been telling you to do, go ahead and do it. And remember, buy me a coffee, okay? Where is that link again? Where are those links again? Anyway, John will post the link. So just, thank you, everyone. And I'm grateful to have every one of you here. Until we meet again, peace and love. And please, in everything you do, don't be God-seeking atheist. Don't be Candace Owens. Don't be Tucker Carlson. Don't be these people. Don't take advantage of your friend's demise to push hatred, to push an agenda, to do this kind of nonsense. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Okay? I want to say it again. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. I know I'm not a perfect example of that, but I will try, and I want you to try too. Let us all try. We are not perfect, but we should keep trying. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. The news can be overwhelming, but be of good cheer. God has overcome. Okay? Christ has overcome. He has won the victory for all of us. Amen. All right, guys. See you next time.